Good evening and welcome to Mera India, which tells you about India in the last 1 week, what we have done. Every Tuesday, I am here before you. And Mera India is, of course, not my India only, but it belongs to all of you. All those who love India, Mera India is dedicated to them. In this evening, we will be talking about what really happened in India. First of all, as you all know, perhaps Manmohan Singh is in South Africa at the moment, where he, with other two countries, Brazil and South Africa and Russia, these are meeting there at the moment about economic problems. Back home in Delhi, we find that the great movement of Anna Hazare has been shaken by one of its own members, what we used to call Team India. Now, Team India has become a disjointed lot. Already, as you all know, that one or two had already left. And one of the very important members from their point of view, which was Prashant Bhushan, has said something which has brought the whole movement, something which many people thought was completely against what the movement stood for. Because Anna Hazare movement was not only something about human rights or something others, it was mainly to get rid of corruption in India. And to get rid of that, Anna Hazare and his team were concentrating on a Jan Lokpal bill. Now that Jan Lokpal bill, which as you all know, Congress had its own Lokpal bill, which was a very diluted form of it. And many could see that why the Congress government did not want that strong Jan Lokpal bill, because that would go against the interests of political parties. It's not only Congress political parties, but other political parties as well. Because as you know, in this game, every political party wants to play the same game, which was started by the Congress party, of course, who were in power for 45 years. And when they were in power for 45 years, naturally corruptions would creep in when you don't have a strong opposition. Strong opposition was provided by BJP in end of the 20th century and the beginning of 21st century, when for the first time a new government came up of NDA, with which the major partner was the BJP. And this new NDA, which was an amalgamation of more than, I think, 19 large and small political parties. And Mr. Vajpayee and Mr. Advani, they both were the Prime Minister and the Home Minister. But what happened? The BJP, which started with this aim and ideals of a high caliber, could not keep to that. They all wanted to go the Congress way, that is, make as much money as you can for your political party and for your personal self. And we all know what some of the members of the BJP did. Now the things are changing, and things are changing because Anna Hazare had started a movement, and the team had started a movement which is commonly called anti-corruption movement. This movement has awakened not only people of India, but the intelligentsia of India, the middle class. They have found a voice in this Team India. And the effect of that has been in the Indian diaspora in Britain and in America as well. We are going to discuss and analyze all these movements against corruption which are going on at the moment. In addition to that, you may say a good point or a bad point is that for the first time in India, we have got a motor racing F1 is going to be The track has been prepared in Greater Noida. And on 30th of October, you will see that in India also, there will be this race, car races will be there. Whether people of India, the newly rich people of India, who would be able to get there, because perhaps the ticket for getting into that will be quite high, which will be beyond the lower middle class and the poor people of India, who in fact are more than 60% of India. So remaining only top 10% perhaps would be able to afford to go and see. But let us see. After all, India has to come into the mainstream of the developed country, and car industry and car manufacturing, and together with that, car racing is a part of that. So let us see what are the pros and cons of that to this developing country, which India still is, in spite of all that economic growth which we have been talking about. But to discuss with you and to analyze these things, I am not only alone here. I have got two friends of mine who are going to discuss. Both of them have gone through all these problems of India. They both love India. That's the first criteria which I said whenever I have any friend here. And first is Vineeta Muthoo. Vineeta, welcome to our program.
Thank you.
And let me tell you, Vineeta is a very important social activist in this country. She came to England and she was 18 years old, young girl. And here she has been working very hard. And in Asia, it is AFP, Asian of Philanthropy, isn't it?
Asian Foundation for Philanthropy.
Asian Foundation of Philanthropy, which are doing a very good job for removing poverty in India. And Vineeta is their ambassador for development ambassador. And she has been to India. She goes to India regularly. She goes in the villages of India and tries to find out the ways how the poverty can be removed. And recently she had done a presentation in front of quite a few hundred people, where she said that this anti-corruption movement has got some very, very positive points and a bit some negative points also. With Vineeta here, I have got my old friend, the war horse, Krishan Tyagi. Krishan Tyagi, as you all know, was on the BBC, and after the BBC he left. He's a journalist of very high caliber, writes on various topics, and also now he has become a business magnate and runs a big restaurant and a pub in some remote areas of southeast England. I won't say the name yet. So welcome, Krishanji, and I'm very grateful to both of you. Both have taken so much time. I think both of you come from distance, more than 50, 100 miles from here. And I think it's a great credit to me that I've been able to bring them together. Okay, Vineetaji, your presentation was very much appreciated, and where you said so many things about this anti-corruption movement of Anna Hazare. But there was one skepticism coming up into your presentation, and many people actually appreciated what you said. First of all, let me know how far you at present are still favoring Anna Hazare's movement.
Thank you very much, Krishanji. Anna Hazare's movement, I feel, is a symbol of increasingly anger and frustration that the Indians feel about corruption in India.